Hi friends. Hi friends. Today I will discuss about a very important topic in chemistry, that is mole concept. It is very basic topic which is useful in solving many problems. So mole, what is mole? Mole is a number. It is a number that is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23. It can also be called as 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. They both are equal, both are correct. Why it is a number? For example, I will take it as dozen. Dozen is a number that is equal to 12. How? If we say we have 12 bananas, then we can also say that we have 1 dozen of bananas. Likewise, if I say I have 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 number of bananas, then I can say that I have 1 mole of bananas. In chemistry, if I say that I have 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 number of carbon atoms, then I can also say that I have 1 mole of carbon atoms. Now you see, similarly, if we say that I have 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 number of hydrogen atoms, then I can say I have 1 mole of hydrogen atoms. But if I say atoms, then it should be atoms only. If I say molecules, then it will be molecules. If I say that I have 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 number of hydrogen molecules, then I will have 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, not atoms, right? Now I have another question, that what was the need of this number 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23? Why Avogadro had the need of this number? So to cover this, I will say that we will take an example of carbon. We know carbon has atomic number of 6 and the mass number of 12. What is this 12? This is 12 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. Now till today we don't have any apparatus which can weigh the mass in AMU. So to cover this problem, we need this number 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23, that is a mole number that has been given by Avogadro. How? We can see this, that if I have 1 mole of carbon atoms, then it will weigh its mass number, that is 12, but in grams. Now here my problem has solved. Why? See this, 1 mole means 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 number of carbon atoms, right? It will weigh is equal to 12 grams. Now you see that I will take another example of nitrogen. Nitrogen has the mass number of 14, that is 14 AMU. So if I have 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms of nitrogen, then it will weigh is equal to 14 grams. Let us say, for example, I have to work on 7 grams of nitrogen. Then it will weigh, now if I have two calculations, then how many number of atoms do we have of nitrogen in 7 grams? 14 grams has 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23. So 7 grams should be 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23 divided by half, divided by 2. It should be 3.01 into 10 raised to power 23 number of atoms. So you see, we have the calculations have become easy. I will take now this mole concept, how it is related to reactions. I have taken a simple example of carbon combustion. That is, when carbon reacts with one molecule of oxygen, it gives us one molecule of carbon dioxide. So this reaction means when one molecule of carbon reacts with one molecule of oxygen, it gives us one molecule of carbon dioxide. If I say it in terms of 1 mole, then if 1 mole of carbon reacts with 1 mole of oxygen, then it gives off 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So if we say it in grams, and we see that carbon atom has the molecular mass of 12, oxygen is 32, carbon dioxide is 44. Then we can say that 12 grams of carbon reacts with 32 grams of oxygen, producing 44 grams of carbon dioxide. How it happened? 1 mole of carbon weighs 12 grams, 1 mole of oxygen weighs 32 grams, and 1 mole of carbon dioxide weighs 44 grams. So this is the use of this mole concept. I have taken some questions for you for the more clarity. Yeah, the first question is, the equation for the reaction between magnesium and dilute sulfuric acid is shown. So 1 magnesium is reacting with H2SO4, giving MgSO4 plus H2. So when you solve any question like this, first of all we have to balance this equation, or we'll see that if it is balanced or not. In this, magnesium is 1, magnesium 1, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2, SO4, SO4. So this is a balanced equation. So I will move to next step. Which mass of magnesium sulfate is formed when 12 grams of magnesium completely reacts with dilute sulfuric acid? It is completely reacting, so we don't have to consider the mass of H2SO4. So magnesium sulfate mass we have given, it is 120. Magnesium, you know, it is 24. So when 1 mole of magnesium is reacting with sulfuric acid, it is giving 1 mole of magnesium sulfate. So that means if 24 grams of magnesium reacts, it produces 120 grams of magnesium sulfate. So if the question is given for 12 grams. If 12 grams of magnesium reacts, then how much grams of magnesium sulfate should be formed? It is simple unitary method. 120 divided by 24 into 12. So it leaves us with 60 grams. So what is the option? C is correct for this option. A very simple and similar question I have taken for you. It says, calculate amount of ammonia when 280 grams of nitrogen reacts with enough of hydrogen. Enough of hydrogen, same question. We don't have to consider the mass of hydrogen. But first of all, what was the step? I have to see that this is balanced or not. In this equation, what is the difference? So this is the difference of above question and this question, that nitrogen is 2, N is 1. So this is not balanced. We have to balance this equation. Hydrogen is 2, 3. For this I have to 3 and this. I think now it is balanced. Yeah, hydrogen is 6, hydrogen is 6. The molecular mass is already given us 28, 2 and 70. Now we have the question that 280 grams of nitrogen when reacts with hydrogen, how much ammonia will be produced? In this question we have to see that when 1 mole of nitrogen reacts, it gives us 2 moles of ammonia. So when 28 grams of nitrogen reacts, it gives us 2 into 17 grams of ammonia. So this step you have to consider very carefully. Normally all the students do this wrong. So when 280 grams of nitrogen reacts, it should be 2 into 17, 280. So it is 340 grams of ammonia will be produced, right? Now we will do next question. What mass of calcium hydroxide is formed when 10 grams of calcium oxide reacts with 10 grams of water? Which one is the limiting agent? There are two questions. Which one is the limiting agent, and what mass of calcium hydroxide will form when 10 grams of calcium oxide is reacting with 10 grams of water? First we have to see that what is the limiting agent and which agent is in excess. One should be in limiting and another should be in excess. So what is the first step? By balancing, by see it is balanced or not. Calcium 1, oxygen 2, hydrogen 2, so it is balanced, right? Now the next question is, which is the limiting agent? For this we have to see that when 56 grams of calcium oxide is reacts, it needs 18 grams of water. So when 10 grams of calcium oxide reacts, it will need how much grams of water? It will need, you can solve it afterwards, 3.2 grams of. So we will need, for 10 grams of calcium oxide, we will need 3.2 grams of water, but we have 10 grams of water here. So I think it is very clear that water is in excess and calcium hydroxide is the limiting reagent. So this is the answer for first this question. Now that means calcium oxide is the limiting reagent. So to calculate the mass of calcium hydroxide, we will have to do calculations with the mass of calcium oxide, because this is the limiting reagent, right? So if 56 grams of calcium oxide reacts, it produces 74 grams of calcium hydroxide. So how much calcium hydroxide will be produced if CaO is 10 grams? I will wish that you solve this question and give the answer to me in the comment. I have another question for you which has came in NEET 2016. It says, suppose the elements X and Y combine to form two compounds XY2 and X3Y2. Then when 0.1 mole of XY2 weighs 10 grams, 0.05 mole of X3Y2 weighs 9 grams, the atomic weights of X and Y are. These are the options. So how will we solve this problem? When 0.1 mole of XY2 is equal to 10 grams, then 1 mole of XY2 y2 should be 10 divided by 0.1 is equal to 100 grams. Similarly, when 0.05 mole of x3y2 weighs 9 grams, then 1 mole of x3y2 should 0.05 is equal to 180 grams. So now we can solve it simple mathematical or algebraical method, that let's weight of xy2, sorry, weight of x is a, so weight of y, weight of y is b. Then we can say for xy2 the equation will become a plus 2b is equal to 100 grams. It should not be difficult for you. And for equation for x3 y2, it should be 3a plus 2b, which is equal to 180 grams. So simple subtraction will be okay. It should be minus 2a is equal to minus 80 grams. So a becomes 40 grams. Let's move to our upper side. So if a is 40, then b should be 30 grams. So the weight of x is 40 and y is 30 grams. So which option is correct? Atomic weights of x has become 40 and for this is 30. So our option third is correct. With this I will end my video. Please, if you have any problem or any query, please contact me in the comment box.